Everybody here, I think, has heard that the act of adultery or the act of illegal intimate relations between a man and a woman will not be punishable until you have 4 witnesses. You may have heard this before, that you have to have 4 witnesses. Now, any commonsensical human being will know that nobody does something like that with 4 witnesses around. Nobody does that with 4 witnesses around. The only way you can do something like that with 4 witnesses around is if you're out in public. What is called in modern law a public display of indecency. In modern law, in many countries, they have laws about public displays of indecency. As a matter of fact, if something like this was happening on the street, Texas laws are there to arrest those people and punish them. If something like that was happening on an airplane, there are laws for a few years in jail. So this is not just something new in Islam, or that was brought in Islam and no one else has it. Virtually every civilized nation in the world has laws dealing with public display of indecency. They have them. And the Quran has them too, because the Quran is preparing a new civilization, a civilization of believers. And this is a very serious crime, because if that kind of shamelessness is happening openly in the street, where even 4 people can walk by and see it, then there are going to be children, young people, there are going to be innocent people that haven't been exposed to that kind of corrupt images, and this is going to damage them psychologically. It's going to undermine something that is so important to the core of a family. It's going to mess people's minds up. When you make something that should remain private and you make it public, then it corrupts people. It messes them up. Now let's take a step back and understand something. We're living at a time where, forget 4 witnesses, you can have 4 million witnesses, because the pornography industry and the filth industry sells itself with billions and billions of dollars. Internet marketers that can sell anything from like bamboo sticks to towels, the most successful internet product, they're in the pornography industry. They're the leaders in marketing. When you go to marketing seminars, internet marketing seminars, the guys at the top of the industry that are making the most bang for the buck are the ones that are selling zina online. They're the ones. So this is completely public now. And when it is that public, can you imagine the damage that it does to the minds of people that are exposed to it? The damage that it's already done? How many children are messed up? How many young adults are messed up? How many marriages are getting destroyed? And so the Quran comes along and says this is a very serious problem with very serious ramifications. People will become twisted and confused, and they're going to commit crimes that won't even make sense. So the Quran steps in and says, no, if someone does this in public, then you have to punish them. And now let's talk about this punishment. They're not killed, they're whipped. And they're whipped 100 times. Well, how are they whipped? You imagine some big leather thing, and they just, and then the guy is bleeding, and they do 100 times, by the 10th time he's already dead. No, hold on a second. The fuqaha would discuss this. They would say, never whip them in a hot day, or an extremely cold day, because the skin will be extra sensitive. Don't whip them out in the blazing sun, because that's not punishment Allah intends for them. When the guy raises his hand, his armpit shouldn't show, so he shouldn't go like this. Like, we think that when you're going to punish, then the guy we should get is like a pro wrestler or somebody who's going to, when he whips, is going to be like, serious. No, that's not the point. As a matter of fact, it's more ceremonial than anything else. In Islamic history, this punishment has been executed. By the way, Islam spread across continents, you know that. Hundreds of millions of people have been Muslim throughout the last 14, 1500 years. And this is recorded to have happened maybe 3-4 times. There was not an occasion where this would even be executed. That's Islamic history. Across the continents. And if it did happen, make sure their armpit doesn't even show. And they hit. And if it hits any part of the body that can be lethal, don't hit there. And if one part is getting injured, don't hit there again. And don't hit on the face. And don't hit on sensitive parts. There's all this exhaustive instruction. But that's actually not my khutbah. My khutbah is not about explaining this punishment to you. The point is, Allah decided that public display of indecency is a major crime because it damages society, so it should be punished. And the principle here, is that and there are different kinds of sins, but if you do a kind of sin that damages society, then you should be punished in this world.